What's up guys, this is Astranox. Let's talk about 3-star ice heroes for Wyvern 11. So at the table is the team I'm going to be using in Wyvern 11, and well, I'll showcase this team in action. I can do 3-man with Angelic Montmorancy, Taranor Guard as my defense breaker, and Alexa, or Alexa could be replaced by Lena. I mean, you could have, instead of Angelic Montmorancy, like Angelica, but I mean, we're talking about 3-star heroes in this video, and this is a very free-to-play friendly setup that you can run. I'll talk about other setups as well. So let's start it off here with Angelic Montmorancy. This is my first account on Global. My third account on the Europe server. I have Angelic Montmorancy that I showcased before as the frontliner in Wyvern 11. So you can go with 160% effect resistance on her in PVE, and you're going to be able to resist all kinds of debuffs or combat readiness reduction effects. So that's a great way for you to like increase your survival, right? Because the Wyvern will continuously push back your combat readiness if you are not resisting. So you can make it work with less speed. Now, of course, I have a high amount of speed. I have Rod of Amaryllis. I will talk about other setups that you can run in early game. Maybe your first clear for Wyvern 11. Maybe in mid game. Maybe you want to transition into a 3-man setup, or yeah, I mean, if you want to speed up your runs too, I'll talk about all these things that you could change. So this team is very good because there is no animation on Taranor Guard and on Alexa, Lena as well. So I mean, it's very fast, and I love that. Now the stats, well, Angelic Montmorancy, you need a balance of health, defense, and of course speed, so you can go often enough and you can sustain yourself without dying before the barrier. So quickly, I'm going to be showing the gear. You can definitely do it with less gear. So this is Montmorancy that needs to be specialty changed into Angelic Montmorancy. If you have a hero like, of course, like Angelica, her base stats are higher, she's tougher, you don't need to do any specialty change. So if you start your account with her, it's going to be easier to gear for, right? You're not going to need Rod of Amaryllis because you can just use Prophetic Candlestick to reduce your turn cooldown. I'll just show you quickly Angelica, even though this is about 3-star heroes, right? I'm using her. She's more for like a PVE setup with a high amount of defense, and she definitely tanks the front line no problem. And Prophetic Candlestick allows you to, you know, reduce your cooldown by 1 turn. Actually, you can use Prophetic Candlestick on Angelic Montmorancy. You don't need to have Rod of Amaryllis. You might need more, you know, more survival. So yeah. Now, other heroes on the team, we have Lena. Lena, a beast of a hero, 3-star only. She's crazy as a farmer. I did showcase her as a farmer, as you know, to clear Wyvern 11. I showcased her in Angelic Hunt in raid. I mean, she is crazy good, and that's her stats. I even like turned on her self-memory imprint just so she can have a bit more attack. So when she farms, it allows her to one-shot the monsters, so she can keep on one-shotting each waves, and that's a great way for speed farming. By the way, guys, I don't have my best gear on her. I used to have better gear. It's actually on her here, Mercenary Helga. You see like crit damage on this 27. Like there's ways, of course, to always increase your damage, and yeah, I mean, the crit damage, the speed is what you want. Of course, 100% crit chance. If you're ice versus the Wyvern, you only need 85% crit chance. And Daydream Joker is definitely a key artifact to speed up your runs, to defeat the Wyvern. You could drop to a 3-man setup, right, with Daydream Joker. I'll show you the damage. Defense break debuff is a huge deal. So Alexa, a 3-star hero that can be obtained from the connection. Amazing hero. I mean, you can't say enough about this hero. The fact that she attacks again when she lands a critical hit is massive, combined with Daydream Joker. So that's her stats, and that's her gear. She, yeah, 87% crit chance is enough. You only need 85% because you will get 15% crit chance when you are at elemental advantage. So she does have more speed than Lena. She has less crit damage, and she has less attack, but Daydream Joker is gonna do a big portion of the damage, so pay attention to the numbers that we're gonna be seeing. Taranor Guard is my main defense breaker, my only defense breaker, and his job is to be fast, right? You need this to increase his defense break chance. You need this to increase the dual attack chance, which can definitely speed up your runs when it happens, as well as boosting the combat units of the whole team by 25%. This self-memory imprint is very cool as well, unless you need that extra bit of survival in your front line. But as a free-to-play player early on in early game, you're not gonna have memory imprints really on your hero. So, but later on you can, you know, reduce his crit chance and you know, have this memory imprint, so that's pretty cool. You turn off your skills for Taranor Guard, just want him to use skill 1. Alexa, the same deal, you just want her to use skill 1, so she triggers a critical hit and attacks again. It's very important. I didn't show his gear, so I will do so. 183 speed on him. Alexa is 170 something. Lena 150 something. Let's check it out real quick. 152 on her. And Alexa 176. You want a difference of like, yeah, the thing is, you want a bigger gap between your defense breaker and your damage dealer. This might be a bit too tight, but from what I've been seeing, Taranor Guard used to, it pretty much goes always first. So yeah, okay, let's actually get in there, and I'll talk about different setups that you can be running. Let's just check this out real quick. So for your front, oh, wait, that's pretty good. Oh my god, the combo! We got the Dream, the Mystic Metals, and the Covenant Bookmarks. Okay, good, good, good. Let's get in there. Let's actually compare the damage of, that's the wrong place. Let's compare the damage of Alexa and Lena. I actually did a video doing that before. All these heroes are 3-star heroes. Lena doesn't have as good gear as she used to have in that video when I did showcase it. But yeah, it's gonna give you a good idea. The thing is, in the early game, you might want to go with Lena, right? Because if you are lucky enough to have pulled her, then she's gonna be your speed farmer, and you can use her in Wyvern. She's got that self-attack buff, which is very powerful. It allows you to just one-shot constantly, and that's very, very powerful, especially if you're not running any attack buffer on your team. That's gonna give it a more value. Taranor Guard can get attack buff when he triggers a dual attack with his passive. I mean, just trigger a dual attack, not from the passive alone. There's a 5% dual attack chance base, plus the 10% from the passive. You could have Unity set or set on him if you want to increase that chance. Defense break is applied. Here we go, the damage from Alexa. Oh my god, the dual attack with Lena, and she goes twice. The second attack is actually, this Wyvern is getting murdered. Alexa, the second attack that she does with skill 1 is actually not the same. It doesn't work with her skill ups. So keep that in mind, guys. It's called Cold Edge instead of whatever the skill 1 is called. We'll see it in a second here. No defense break, unfortunately, to go really quick. Fail, and then Cold Edge. You see that at the top left, each skill name, what they are called. For skill ups, Taranor Guard is definitely the one you want to skill up on skill 1 to have the chance to defense break at 75% chance. You want the effectiveness of your you know, heroes that need to apply a debuff or reduce combat units at 55%, guys. Lena did crazy here because she triggered a dual attack and there was defense break on the target, so that's why she won on this. But it's pretty ridiculous the amount of damage that she can output. And I mean, you definitely should build Lena if you do have her. Now for the front line, there's different ways to go about it. To be honest, like you could go, you could double up on Soul Weavers. Ether, the hero that you get at the start of the game, the Soul Weaver, Ether, right? You can use him in the back line, plus have like Angelic Montmorancy in the front line. So this will allow you to have a constant stream of healing being applied on your frontliner, which is Angelic Montmorancy. You can build her slower with a higher health and defense and rely more on the healing of Ether. If you don't have Rod of Amaryllis, it's fine. It's fine. Angelic Montmorancy could have Prophetic Candlestick, and Ether, I mean, could be rocking, I mean, whatever, random memorandum, like the tome that gives you faster speed every time you go. whatever, you just boost the speed on Ether. He could be only a 4-star. If the Wyvern actually you fail to break the barrier, there's gonna be that attack against your whole team. As ice heroes, you're not gonna take that much damage, but you might need to bring Ether to a 5-star if you're struggling there. So there's definitely different ways to go about it. Initially, you're gonna go with a 4-man setup. You could also build Crozet from the connection. He's a knight, you can stick him in the front line, and you can have Angelic Montmorancy in the backline healing, or you could simply have Ether. He can be that healer for your front line, and it's gonna work. I mean, he is a free-to-play unit because you can get him from the connection. So even though I'm talking about 3-star heroes, he is definitely a free-to-play hero that you can obtain for your front line. The thing is, he takes a long time to actually get him unlocked. So here they are pretty much tied. Very, very good. They both have Daydream Joker at plus 30. So of course it is speeding up my runs, guys. And talking about a 4-man setup, it's something you want to transition away from because you want to get experience on a fodder later on. The thing is, you can still run a 4-man setup like this just to get more runs in when there is the gold buff running, right? You know, when we get that gold buff that increases our gold by 30%, well, that's a great time for you to go 4-man, and you do your runs faster, unless you're, you know, in late game and you're able to do a sub 1 minute runs with a hero that one-shots the boss or something like that. But first, of course, you need to get the gear to get to that point, and that's why I'm talking about this team. Now, this team, like I said, it's interchangeable. You could have your frontliner that holds the line, and you could have Taranor Guard as your defense breaker, and it could be Alexa or Lena plus a fodder, but now I'm comparing their damage, so it gives you an idea of who you should build. I would say that Lena is way more useful than Alexa when we're talking about multiple areas of the game. I mean, you could even use Lena for sort of like a speed cleave initially in PvP as well, so she also got that going for herself. That damage is crazy, and I mean, yeah, just a very, very strong hero. Like here, that's more like how it should be, right? Even though Lena does have the attack buff, Alexa just does so much damage because she's always attacking twice, and that is actually a huge deal, and you definitely want to keep that in mind. Now, you can use debuffs against the Wyvern, right? If you have 3 debuffs or more on the boss will deal greatly reduced damage. Another way you can go about it is have attack break applied on the boss, and that will cut its attack in half. That's another great way to survive, allowing you to cut. Maybe you were running double Soul Weavers or a Knight plus a Soul Weaver in the back. This will allow you to have a Soul Weaver in the front line and allow you to stabilize your run, allow you to take much less damage. So another way that you could do it is with the Misty Chain 3-star mage. That hero is actually amazing. She can sort of like heal a bit. She's not a full-on healer, but she's able to deal damage and heal the team. She's able to apply attack break and unhealable with skill 2 pretty much constantly. The cooldown might be 3 turns, and these debuffs last for 2 turns. So this allows you to have 2 debuffs on the Wyvern, and then you add Taranor Guard and you have 3 debuffs. Now, that is very powerful. The uptime is not going to be 100% on those debuffs, but it will allow you to greatly reduce the amount of damage that you that you do take. So that's definitely very, very powerful. It might be Lena wins here versus Alexa on that one, but it is like you're noticing, is definitely very close. So after this run, I'm gonna be I'm actually gonna go through the mechanics real quick on this one. Why you want to use ice heroes is because the boss actually does take 30% more damage when you are attacking with ice heroes. Any other element will receive 30% more damage. So if you don't have an ice hero in the front line, that frontliner will be taking 30% more damage, which is definitely a big no-no in the early game. I mean, there's some heroes that can just like take it, you know. make their survival super high. You just put them in the front line and they kind of like survive forever. But these are like, that's the thing though, in early game it's not really gonna work. Talking about 3-star heroes, if we're talking about a dark 5-star hero like Apocalypse Ravi, she could just sustain herself forever, but you need some decent survival gear. So as you might have noticed here, well, 30% more damage dealt by ice, taking 30% more damage if you are non-ice, and increase the caster's combat uniqueness by 10% every time a non-ice elemental hero turns end. So that's definitely a big reason why you don't want to bring other elements than ice. Let's actually pause here. My god, we're destroying this boss. So attack increases attack after attacking. The effect can be stacked. That's the reason why you want to end this run like as fast as possible. Of course, before barrier is not going to happen in early game. You'll have to break the barrier and then keep on dealing damage to the Wyvern. Eventually you will down the boss. Your Daydream Jokers can be enhanced higher. You'll deal more damage. Your Taranor Guard, I'm saying, enhance his skill, so he has that 75% chance to defense break, which is actually gonna allow you to be more consistent with that debuff, allowing you to deal roughly like double the damage. It works with Daydream Joker artifact that deals damage based on the target's max health. The Wyvern has 139,000 HP health, which means it's gonna be taking a lot of damage when you're using Daydream Joker. This here creates a gust of wind by moving incredibly fast and attacks all enemies, dispelling all buffs. This effect cannot be resisted after attacking, creates a shockwave to deal additional damage. This is when you fail to break the barrier. The boss will use this. It will remove all of your buffs and attack all of your heroes. And then it will do that extra shockwave, which deals some pretty crazy damage. That's the big burst that you're going to be taking. And as 5-star heroes, ice element, you won't need too much survival to survive this hit. Your healer can stabilize the whole team, but I mean, the most important is to stabilize the front line. You'll be fine to go up until the next barrier. If you do fail to break the second barrier, you'll be fine. Now you can rely on Alexa with her poison. Poison deals 5% of the target's max health every time it ticks, and you can not turn off her skills in the early game, allowing you to build more debuffs on the Wyvern, and this in turn will make it so the Wyvern deals much less damage. And just here I'll show you guys. So we're talking about this skill before. Now this Fireball Barrage shoots a fireball at the enemy, dispelling one buff and decreasing combat units by 10%. So your frontliner is getting its combat units reduced by 10% every time the boss is successfully attacking the front line. If you have 160% effect resistance, which is something that is going to be harder to obtain in early game, maybe in mid game you could achieve it, but it's hard to have that effect resistance plus the survival, defense, and health, plus the speed to stay alive in the front line. But I'm just giving you one of the strategy that I've used on my third account on the Europe server, because my Angelic Montmorancy was built for PvP and you need like high effect resistance there. I have 200% effect resistance now. After attacking, attacks the same enemy 2 more times. When the caster has 2 or fewer debuffs, damage is greatly increased. Attacks the front row first. It's always the front liner that do get attacked. Yeah, so you're getting attacked 3 times, and when the caster has 2 or fewer debuffs, damage is greatly increased. That's why you want 3 debuffs or more. You will take much less damage. It says greatly increased damage when the caster, the Wyvern, the boss, has 2 debuffs or less. That's why you want to aim for that 3 debuffs early on. It will definitely allow you to pull through with much lesser gear. Now for that skill here, Tail Swing attacks all enemies and dispel all debuffs from the caster before granting a barrier for 1 turn. When the caster is covered by a barrier at the start of the caster's turn, activates Dragon's Might. And yeah, that's gonna be when the boss goes in barrier and removes all debuffs on itself. Now, when covered by a barrier, the caster's speed is decreased and the caster is unaffected by buff dispels and decreased speed debuffs. The Wyvern is immune to all these effects, so yeah, you cannot apply decrease speed on the Wyvern, so keep that in mind, and you cannot reduce the combat readiness of the Wyvern. When the Wyvern goes in barrier, it's slowing down its speed by a lot. So if you're using elements of a different element than ice, you're gonna be shortening the length of that barrier phase, which in turn will not let you have enough damage. You're not going to be able to deal enough damage during barrier, and well, there's a higher chance that you fail to break it, which is going to end up with Dragon's Might to the face, dispel, some damage, and then that big shockwave. So that's why you should stick with ice in the early game. Let's finish up this. And you know, the boss has, you know, 70% effect resistance. You need 55% effectiveness to counter that. There's always 15% that you cannot counter. That's the way it works in the game. So, man, Lena, once again, she went crazy here. Okay, so let me just go here and show you some other possibilities for heroes. Okay, so let's go here with the ice. I mean, if you start the game and you went selective summon Tywin, of course, like, he's crazy. Like, he is very powerful. You can use him in PvE and PvP. He's got high base, you know, survival, a very high amount of health and defense. He can just, like, you're gonna need a Soul Weaver in the early game to hold the front line though, but he brings a lot with his kit defense break, self-defense buff, which is gonna be stripped. If you have 160% effect resistance, you can resist the dispels from the fireballs from the Wyvern, but that's going to be much later that you could do it. To be honest, Tywin is not a hero that you stack effect resistance, but just a quick tip for you guys. Let's say you decide to start with Tywin. Increase attack and crit chance to the caster and an ally for 2 turns. Increase combat turns by 30% is pretty powerful. The dispelling will not do anything, but he's a knight, so he has access to that. Now let's talk here about those heroes. Misty Chain, right? She's got that unhealable and decrease attack for 2 turns with the skill ups, which now luckily only requires Stigma and some Catalyst, right? You can skill up 3-star heroes, and that's another major plus for you guys, why you should stick to 3-star heroes and maybe build some other heroes that you haven't built yet. Maybe you're using even some 4 or 5-star heroes. I'm talking about you guys that want to speed up your runs. You don't want animations on your damage dealers to speed up the run. That's why Taranor Guard and Alexa are great. So maybe you're gonna decide to build those 2, or maybe one that you don't have out of the 2. Which would be like Alexa in most cases. But Lena, she's definitely crazy good. I love her as a farmer. She just one-shots every wave, no animation. Super powerful. This actually heals all allies. It's not much, but it's a bit of healing. But it's great to have 2 debuffs here. Plus Alexa, I'll show her skills. This actually heals for quite a bit. And the skill ups on that, you've got some, you know, the effect chance goes up to 100% chance here. You've got healing increase on this thing, and you got some healing and damage increase. A very powerful hero. Misty Chain should not be overlooked when we're talking about the early game Wyvern. Definitely very powerful. Now Alexa, her skill too. You know, you have 2 poison effects for 2 turns. It lasts 2 turns. That's great. Poison deals 5% of the max health of the target at the start of the turn. Very powerful, and increase the caster's combat units by 30%. I mean, you're not gonna be manualing, so forget about the soul burn effect. Now you've got some extra damage here, effect chance to 100%, and damage increase on skill 1. But later on, mid game to late game, you're gonna turn off the skills on Alexa so she can keep on using Fel. You won't need to skill up skill 3, but you might need to rely on the poisons if you want to greatly reduce the amount of damage that you take from the Wyvern. You can check in the description my Wyvern videos. I was using Misty Chain, Alexa, so many different setups that I've been running, but it can give you an idea of how much that damage reduction is, because I did showcase it there. I'm using, actually in one video, I'm using a 4-star Alexa. Alexa is 4-star, relying heavily on Daydream Joker artifact. And I have Misty Chain as 5-star in there with Taranor Guard and Angelica in the front line. But Angelica can be replaced with Angelic Montmorancy. That was when Angelic Montmorancy didn't even have a specialty change yet. That's like way back. right? So Taranor Royal Guard could be your knight in the front line. I mean, he's able to reflect some damage suffered from a critical hit. So I guess that's a bit of damage that he would deal to the boss. It could be helpful, right? And yeah, you are able to heal with the skill 3. He might need some decent gear to actually make use of his kit when it comes down to like healing and all that. But I mean, he could be a viable option for you guys, so keep that in mind. Now you would need a healer in the back line. You could definitely use Ether. He got buffed actually. His cooldowns are only 2 turn and 3 turn. You don't need to skill up for that, but you can definitely do some early skill ups. You only need Stigma to do the early skill ups on your 3-star heroes. You don't even need any catalyst, so that's actually pretty huge there. You've got the decreased speed, which is unfortunately not going to be useful because the boss is immune to decreased speed. So yeah, but definitely very powerful. You could even increase the amount recovered with this soul burn here for only 10 souls. Maybe things are not going too well, you want to land that first clear, or you want to just manual it out in early game to get a few kills, to get some gear or some crafting materials or something like that, right? So for him, you're definitely gonna just like have a bunch of speed, and you don't have to worry about survival. It's purely about speed, so keep that in mind. 55% effectiveness is what you want on heroes that apply debuffs, aka Taranor Guard, aka Alexa if you're gonna have her skill turned on to apply poison, Misty Chain, to give you guys an idea. So Taranor Guard is gonna be your hero that you're gonna skill this up to get that sweet 75% chance to decrease defense. It's gonna be huge, gonna be super helpful. You can do a few skill ups on this early on as well. Doesn't cost catalyst, just stigma and gold. So this is very powerful, some extra chance to deal dual attack. But the attack increase is helpful, but the combat shrewdness increased by 25% is huge. And some runs, man, he triggered dual attack often, allowing the team to just overlap the boss and just go more often, and it was great. It definitely ups the team survival, it increased your damage output, and this could allow you to break the barrier in some occasions where you can't do it. So you want to turn off his skills because you cannot decrease combat shrewdness of the Wyvern. And yeah, I mean, that's less stigma, that's less gold, and of course less catalyst that you have to worry about. Turn off Taranor Guard skills. That's very important. You can use him in a raid, you can use him in the Abyss, you can use him in multiple areas of the game. He is a beast of a hero. I can't wait for a specialty change on him. Very, very powerful. So Lena, like I said, attack buff on skill 3. She's so good. Decreased combat shrewdness even, but it's not gonna work on the Wyvern, against the Wyvern. And if you land a kill, any kill, just one on an ad, you're farming an adventure, on recorded history, side story, whatever, she's gonna reset her skill, allowing her to keep on using that skill 3. Soul burn for 10 souls, increased damage. That's also very welcome. If you want to use her in raid, if you want to use her Abyss, you want to use her in PvP maybe, yeah, and that increased crit chance is huge. 30%, man, that's a lot of value out of a passive. Only a 3-star hero, I love this. And yeah, this increases her combat units by 20%, allowing her to cycle, use skill 3 more often, go more often, which is very great. You can have her self-memory imprint if you want to squeeze a bit more damage, if you want to like one-shot mobs in PvE, or just straight up increase her damage everywhere. So yeah, okay. I think that covers it. If you do have Basque, he could be your frontliner. You can check here the difference in defense and health. He's pretty high up there, and like Taranor Royal Guard, he has very high survival as well. The speed is low, but your knights, they don't need to actually go. So that's the thing though. If you want to use a Soul Weaver, one Soul Weaver to tank it and heal it in the front line, it's going to lose combat shrewdness. You're going to need more speed or more survival or a mix of all so you can stay alive and hold the front line. That's why using a knight in the front plus a Soul Weaver in the back is going to, you know, make it much easier to gear for you guys. But look at that health, almost 7,000. The defense is crazy, 733. Crozet is crazy. Free 4-star hero, man, he can definitely tank as the frontliner. He got buffed, so that's very, very good. He's got increased defense and barrier to an ally when attack cause their health to fall below 50%. So you could use that barrier, and I mean the defense increase, I guess, to take the first hit of the triple barrage of fireball coming your way, reducing its damage. The barrier will absorb one hit, but they will get dispelled though. So yeah, but it's still useful. Free like healing when HP falls below 50% HP. That's pretty good, and it scales off the target's max health as well. Here, well, you cannot decrease combat readiness, so that's not gonna work. You could always just turn off his skills. The passive will work automatically. This scales based on the caster defense, which is kind of weird if you want to build him like full on health. But to be honest, like you should build him with a mix of health and defense, so you have better effective health. Yeah, unless you get hit with defense break, which is not the case during Wyvern battle. So here he's got decreased attack on skill 1, which is major, and I would say that you should turn off his skills as well, so you can use a skill 1 more often. And that's that defense break. That's another debuff. If you're not using Misty Chain, there's your attack break, there's your extra debuff, and 75% chance is very powerful. He's ice as well, very good. So Crozet with Taranor Guard, that's 2 debuff. Add Alexa with 2 poison effects, that's 4 debuffs. Maybe one gets resisted, you still have a pretty good chance to have 3 debuffs up. It's not going to be a high uptime, but it's going to allow you to take much less damage and relieving pressure of your Soul Weaver, which is definitely very welcome. So let's go with, let's say you have Crozet in the front, you have Ether healing him, and then you have Taranor Guard and Alexa. That's like your 4-man setup in early game, free-to-play style. Crozet maybe takes too long to unlock him. I mean, maybe you got Rose in your selective summon. You could have her in the front line. Maybe you lucked out on Angelica. She could be your frontliner and healer. Maybe you have Tywin. He could be your frontliner with Ether healing in the back, or Angelic Montmorancy, or just Montmorancy because you didn't finish the specialty change, something like that. You have a lot of options. In terms of healing output, maybe Ether would beat Montmorancy straight up before the specialty change though, and I wouldn't be too surprised there if that was the case. Ether is actually very good, and especially after the buff, he should not be overlooked actually. Basque limited hero, so not really gonna be a viable option for holding the front line, but you could double up on Soul Weavers. Like I said, definitely super viable. Could be Angelic Montmorancy in the front plus Ether as backup, and yeah, that would definitely do it. You could take it ultra slow, and you could have a frontliner any knight that is ice, and then you could, well, Crozet would be one of the top contender because he's free and he's got attack break on skill 1, which is actually very good, and his survival stats are through the roof though. You could have, yeah, let's say, I mean, you could have Taranor Royal Guard in the front. You could have Ether healing him with Misty Chain as backup heal plus debuffer, and then you could have like Taranor Guard with Daydream Joker, and that would allow you to have enough debuffs for taking less damage. Sometimes I don't know about breaking the barrier with that setup. You're gonna need to that's actually 4 heroes. That doesn't work too well. You might want to go with Taranor Royal Guard, Ether, and then yeah, and then Taranor Guard and Alexa. Alexa is huge for damage, man. That poison is super helpful. So yeah, definitely different ways to go about it. Check the description for some of the setups that I talked about that I've been running, so you can see it in action. But yeah, I think you guys might have gotten enough information. In those other videos, I also talk about other setups that you can be running, and yeah, definitely super free to play friendly, and Wyvern should be your entry hunt. It's easier to do. You just make your frontliner survive. The gear is great. The sets out of Wyvern are super high value, especially speed set. You get a lot of value out of that, and it's definitely not wrong at all to just keep on farming Wyvern early, mid, and late game. No problem. Definitely like the best place to farm there. speed is king, and it will facilitate a lot of the content in the game. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you want more stuff about Wyvern, you know, if you want to, like, I don't know, more different like group compositions, different tests to be done for my early to mid game players especially, let me know in the comments section. If this was helpful to you, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you still haven't. Press the bell icon for like to be notified whenever I release a new video, and check out my other videos that should be showing up on the screen now. I got playlists of all sorts for PvE and PvP content, Arena, Guild Wars, guys, tips and how-tos, Abyss Floor 62 plus. I got best starter guides for my early to mid game players for fast progression. So all sorts of videos in my playlist in my channel. I have over 750 Epic 7 videos so far, and I'm not planning to stop anytime soon, guys. So yeah, that's really it for this one. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.